Hi, this is Brandon from thirstgym.com. Today we're going to talk about an exercise called forward monster walks. This is a great hip exercise you can put in your training programs to help your kids learn how to create tension into the floor, build their hip musculature, be in a good athletic position, and also prevent knee valgus. So we don't want that knee coming in. We want to make sure we have the hips and knees going out when we land, and we can actually push our hips back and load our hips. This exercise is one that kind of helps reinforce that. It helps build that musculature up so that it's strong enough to be able to do that if you happen to land. And we're going to try to prevent this kind of happening. Really out here, this can be in your warm-ups, it can be in your finishers. You can superset it with something. There's just a lot of different applications that you can put with you in your training program for your athletes and your clients. We personally like this for our smaller youth athletes or our female athletes that generally need more hip strength. You know, the younger female athletes are going through puberty and they're growing, their Q angles are getting different, and they're not really understanding how that impacts their landing mechanics, and they don't really, and some of them don't even know they do it until they watch them land and they're like, man, my knees almost hit each other. Yeah, we don't want that. We want to build those hips up, teach you how to land, but also not only just teach you, but we got to build that musculature up, because for some of these kids, that musculature is incredibly weak, and no matter how much you teach them to try to land like that, if there's a weakness in the chain, we're going to have that collapse potentially happen if they're jumping high enough, or if they're putting in enough effort, they may not even realize it. So you need some kind of small band that you can put around your knees or your ankles. You can do it either way. Where you get them from, there's multiple different fitness companies that you can get them from, but usually it's something small, and we have a couple that have different resistance options for different kids. We can provide a different option. They don't have to be a one-size-fits-all. With the forward monster walk, what we're going to do is I'm going to put these arms around my knee real quick. Okay, and I prefer it below the knee versus above. I think that it's going to force to have to shift the knees out, actually rotate a little bit more. Up here, I don't feel like it tends to roll up as well too, and I don't like that feeling. I like that it's preferably below the kneecap. And then we want to coach that the legs are in a athletic position wider than shoulder width. We don't want here, okay, we want to think good athletic position. If you play basketball or volleyball or anything that you can kind of try to relate to the athlete, where they got to have their hips back and they're in an athletic position, try to make it replicable for your athlete. Knees are going to go out. I want to feel the whole foot the whole time. So the knees obviously trying to force me into that valgus position. We want to push the hips back and drive those knees out and feel the whole foot as we're here. Okay, this is the position that we got to be in. We don't need to be in a deep squat here, okay? We just need to get our hips back, get our hips loaded, good athletic position, and then all we're going to do is we're just going to walk forward. Small, short, choppy steps. So for this angle, so you can see me, we're going to be here. Choppy steps. Really keep the knees out. Feel the whole foot. Feel it here in the hips the whole time. Okay, so again, we'll see here, walk forward. Your athletes are going to try to make this big step, so they're going to try to go this. Okay, that's not what the exercise is about. Hips back, a little bit wider than shoulder width. Crank those knees out. The smaller the steps, the better. We generally are programming these for 3 to 4 sets of 12 to 25 yards. So for our facility, we have 25 yards such as turf. 12 yards is basically the halfway point. So either halfway down or the whole way down. It'll be superset with something else. Really make sure your athletes are feeling it in their butt. Ask them if their butt's on fire. If they say no, they're either not hinging right, they're taking too big of steps, or maybe potentially the resistance band isn't strong enough for them. You will find that for some kids. Once they, like for me, if I did this, this would probably be a warm-up exercise for me. For your stronger athletes, use it as part of your warm-up exercise. But for your younger kids, I think it's something that you could put to help develop that hip strength over the long term. So if you got any questions, leave them in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.